Hi guys, so today we're going to answer the different questions about the fiber optics. So the first question is, what is a fiber optics and how is it used in the outside plant? So first we're going to define what is a fiber optic. So fiber optic is the technology used to transmit information, signals or data as pulses of light through a strand of a cables, and these cables are made of plastic or a glass, and it was being used in a long distances of area. So fiber optics can be used in the outside line by choosing cabling containing single model. So the system that mostly the telecommunication services use is the OSP cabling system, which is a compromises the and it is connecting the data information system by the cables outside. Next question is, how is it used in communication? So we all know that fiber optics nowadays are the mostly the telecommunication companies use because it is convenience. Then optical fiber, it is used by many telecommunication, as what I've said earlier, companies to transmit signals, internet for communication. With the use of the fiber optics, the companies can easily provide services to their customer with the help of their upgraded equipment. So the fiber optic help in the modern communication system to minimize the signal degradation and electromagnetic interferences.
How does a fiber optic link transmit signals? Fiber optic cables transmit data via fast traveling pulses of light. Another layer of glass called cladding is wrapped around the central fiber and causes light to repeatedly bounce off the walls. So for transmitting signals, each light particle, which is proton, bounces down the pipe with continued internal mirror-like reflection. The light beam travels down the core of the cable. So in addition, fiber optic transmits signals using the principle, which are box, text, total internal reflection. So the signals are encoded as pulses of light or laser.
So, what is the components are used in a fiber optic cable plant? So, we have five main components for the use of fiber optic plants. So, we have the core, cladding, strengthening fiber, coating, and the last one is cable jacket. So the first one is core. A core, this is the physical medium that transports optical signals from attached light source to a receiving device. So this is a first layer, which is the core. So it provides the light of the source to the to receive the other signals to the another data or device. So it is a high purity glass or plastic whose diameter which is less than diameter of a human hair, which is a the core. Then the second one is cladding. The cladding is a thin layer that is extruded over the core and serves as a boundary that contains the light waves, enable data to travel through the length of the fiber. So the use of the cladding is it is the second layer, or um it is the which is the first one is the core, then the second one is the cladding. So the purpose of the cladding, it is the series of the light from the core, then it also the boundary of the core that makes the light travel through the length of the fiber. So the third one is coating. So it is a plastic coating over the cladding to reinforce the fiber core, help absorb shocks, provide extra protection against excessive cable bends. So when we say coating, the imagination illustration of this, it is the coat, mo ni siya ang niputo sa cladding, which is to provide a kanaang extra protection, such like kanang mabend ang fiber or something mapiko ang fiber. So the fourth one is strengthening fiber. So the strengthening fiber, it is the components help to protect against crushing forces, excessive tension during installation. So the strengthening fiber, it is not also to provide, but it also to protect a kanang crushing, like magasgas ang fiber, and also kanaang something mapiko ang fiber during installation. Mo na siya ang strengthening fiber, the components to protect the core, the cladding, the strengthening fiber, the coating also. So the last one is the cable jacket. So the cable jacket, this is an outer layer. So this is the last layer of the 5 components of a fiber optic cable. So this is the outer layer or sheeting of the cable. The purpose of it is to protect the cable from environmental hazards such as construction works, finishing gear, or a kanaang sharks. So the purpose of a cable jacket, and it also to protect like kanaang even once ma-install na ni nato ang fiber optic, so need nato ang cable jacket para maprotektahan ang how can we say that, kanang para maprotektahan nato like naay kanaang hazard may tabo, like kanaang construction workers like matumba or kanang mga hait-hait or something like kanaang hazardous.
Fiber optic termination is the use of connectors that join two fibers to form a temporary joint, while splicing is the other type, and this involves connecting two bare fibers directly without any connectors. So splicing is a permanent method of termination.
Question number 6. So, how does one test a fiber optic cable plant or net? The most accurate way to test the fiber is to measure. Measure the overall optical loss in the fiber, that is to inject and know the level of the light in one end, and measure the level of the light in the other end using OLTS. So, OLTS stands for Optical Loss Test Set, because it is essential to test the fiber optic cable for ensuring the system will function properly before any installation.
So the question is, what is involved in designing a fiber optic network? So designing a fiber optic network involves several key and steps consideration. So the first step is route planning. So once the needs are determined, the next step is to plan the physical route of the fiber optic network. So route planning this includes identifying the location or termination points such as buildings or network hubs. Then the second one is cable and hardware selection. This is the next step, the second step. So after the route has been planned, the appropriate fiber optic cables and the hardware need to be selected. So cable and hardware selection, this includes choosing the type of cable, such as single mode or multi-mode. So the third steps is installation. So once the hardware and cables have been selected, the network can be installed. So installation, this includes laying the cable and connecting the equipment at each termination point. So the fourth steps is testing and verification. So once the network is installed, it needs to be tested to ensure that it is working properly. So testing and verification is this includes verifying the signal strength and quality, checking for any results or defects in the cable. So the fifth step or the last step is maintenance. So a maintenance plan needs to be put in a place to ensure that the network continues to operate reliably. So maintenance, this includes regular inspection, testing, and repairs as needed.
How are fiber optic cable plant installed? So fiber optic cable plant installation typically involves the following steps. The first one is site preparation. This includes surveying the area, marking the route, and digging the trenches for the cable. The second is cable installation. The fiber optic cables are then placed in the trenches and connected to any necessary equipment. Third is testing. The cables are tested to ensure that they are working properly and that there is no signal loss or interference. Fourth is splicing. If necessary, fiber optic cables can be spliced together to create a longer cable run or to connect two different types of cables. The fifth one is termination. The ends of the cables are then terminated with connectors so that they can be connected to other equipment or devices. That's all.